You know our next guest from her work over the past 6 seasons on Saturday Night Live. SNL returns this week with host Walton Goggins and musical guest Arcade Fire. She also stars in the new movie Summer of '69, which premieres May 9th on Hulu. Let's take a look.
Hello? Santy? Hello? What are you doing? I mean, what are we doing? We're watching Risky Business. Is this part of Risky Business? It's the most iconic part. Okay, it's official. We're watching it. You have no idea how long I was waiting back there. Hours.
Please welcome back to the show our friend Chloe Fineman, everybody! We were talking backstage, home stretch of the old SNL season.
Yes.
A real trip. This whole season's been a trip because there was the SNL 50th in the middle of it.
Yes, insane. Also, I love how differently we're dressed right
yes.
now. I'm like dying.
I do feel
Not
as
even
though
a tie
I'm sort of like, I misread the invitation.
Well, it's Met Gala Monday.
It is
Seth.
Met Gala Monday.
Come
you
on.
look wonderful.
Thank you.
You look wonderful.
Thank you.
I forgot. I'm dressed for Book Club Tuesday.
Yes, you.
Just rocking it out. This is very exciting. Last 2 shows, Scarlett.
Yep.
Hosting the finale, obviously an old hand at the show now, one of the best.
Yes.
And then Walton Goggins, first timer this week.
Yeah,
and
baby.
Walton's fantastic.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and this is going to be a very fun week. I'm looking forward to it.
We're deeply horned up and excited for Walton Goggins.
Thank you for your honesty
You're
about
welcome.
the level of horniness
Well,
sometimes.
it's warm out and
yeah.
Yeah.
It is warm out. It is a funny thing working at SNL because, I don't know, it's a casual enough show with the way people dress, but then when the seasons change, it's a whole new thing.
Yeah, the men are wearing shorts right now, and it's like I'm seeing them full naked.
Yeah.
Like,
it's very weird for work people to just show up.
Totally. To see like Andrew Dismukes' knees and like all of PDD's like skinny.
Yeah.
You know, they're nice, but I'm like, cover yourself.
Yeah.
This is an office.
You've gone to HR and said, there's a lot of knees.
Yeah. And it's not tan yet, so it's like very chickeny.
It is that thing of like working, especially not even with like comedy actors or actresses, it's like writers. I remember the amount of, there was a writer, I'm not gonna name his name, but if I did, it would be Rob Klein.
Okay.
He showed up, the week we hired him, he showed up wearing flip-flops, and then we just called him Flip-Flop for a year.
Sure. Yeah.
You have to punish people when they wear flip-flops to an office.
Flip-flops, yes.
If you have an
Also
ID
gross.
that you have to like go boop boop,
No, I know.
you have to wear shoes.
Yeah, this is Rockefeller Center.
Yeah.
It's like gold, like Art Deco as you walk in and you're in shorts and flip-flops.
No, because you wear that most days.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Happily.
You take this very seriously.
Yeah, I wear a blazer. I actually do.
That was a clip from a very funny movie, Summer '69, directed by Jillian Bell, who was a writer back in my time on the show, and a fantastic human being. Yes.
You guys were there together.
We were. We overlapped.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Jillian is one of the funniest women alive, and I was so lucky to work with her.
This is about a girl who goes to a professional dancer, an adult dancer.
Yeah. You can just say it. I play a stripper.
You play a stripper. I mean, it's a very good year to be a stripper in film.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Honora didn't exist when I signed on to play a stripper in Syracuse.
Are you worried it has stolen your thunder?
No. Okay. No, Honora walked, so Chloe Fineman in heels could dance kind of okay.
Did you also sort of rely on the tutelage of professional dancers over the making of the film?
Yeah, Jillian was like, will you be a stripper? And I was like, sure. And then Mikey Madison won the Palme d'Or, all those really fancy awards. And I saw her process where she worked and lived at a club for so long. And I was like, okay, well, we're working at Diamond Dolls in Syracuse. I'll hang out with these gals.
Yeah.
And I met a stripper named Chaos, spelled K-A-H-O-S.
Great.
So I call her Cajos.
Great.
And she is the head chef and best dancer at the club.
Wow. Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. Oftentimes she would be like doing a dance on the pole and be like, oh man, and like a smoke alarm would go off. Or vice versa, flipping a burger and be like, oh, that's my song, and like go out. So like it's not it's very different in Syracuse.
Yeah.
The strip club is like literally next to a metal sheet yard.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did you? You did have some dancing background that you could rely on. This is an early photo of you. This is competitive dance. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell from the outfit. This was high competition.
Take that, JoJo Siwa. I'm coming.
What? That's like a pre-impression of JoJo
No,
Siwa.
this is when it was like baking into my bones. I was terrible and demoted after that dance.
You can get demoted from a dance team?
I was told by my dance instructor I couldn't leap as high as the other girls.
Wow.
And then I got into comedy, so take that, Katie. Thank you.
I have to ask, these are photos. I was here, this Billy Crystal. This is the night he was on our show.
Yes.
And then I guess he wandered down the hall to check out his old SNL digs.
Yeah, I was like walking to my dressing room, you know, haggard and tired, and then I was like, who's this man in a little cap? And he was just staring at the walls, and I was like, hi, Billy Crystal, nice to meet you. And then he was like, I used to live here. And I was like, well, that's an interesting way of putting it. And yeah, he was in my dressing room and he signed it.
That's so nice.
Yeah, so I can never wash my wall. And then at the 50th, I like to think it's because my dressing room is like mildly clean.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig was like, I'll take yours. And so she was in my dressing room. She signed it by the light bulb there. And then at the good nights when we were hugging, she was like, I have a surprise. And I was like, what could it possibly be? And then I went behind the door and Bill Murray signed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic autographs to have on your wall.
I had Billy Crystal, Bill Murray, and I had an aneurysm just now.
Yeah.
Sorry about
The only thing I will call you out on is when you said, now I can't wash my wall, because would you have otherwise? Just like, to the floor, Chloe, and you're like, not now.
They do get like so. Yeah.
They get filthy. The walls at SNL get filthy.
Yeah, baby.
One of the coolest things about the 50th was Meryl Streep in a sketch with Kate.
Yes.
You do a fantastic Meryl Streep impression. It's one of the first things I remember you doing on the show. Did you get a chance to meet Meryl Streep in person?
Yes, I was so desperate. Now I'm even short-circuiting talking about Meryl. I was so excited that she was even like in the building. She's been my dream host the whole time I've been here. I was so weird. I stood out on the floor when Kate and Meryl were doing that skit.
Yeah, the rehearsal. I was out there too, yes.
Yeah, during the live show, you were standing
not live.
I was a freak. I was a weirdo. I was like, I have to see this in person. And I don't think I was allowed to be there. And then at the after party, I just saw this, like, it was like the heavens parted and it was like, oh, and someone was like, go, go. And I just like was shaking and then she just went, I know you. And then I was like, you do me. And then it turns out we had the same teacher, this amazing woman, Betsy Parrish, who taught her at Yale and me at NYU. And I was like, I had Betsy Parrish, and Meryl literally went, oh, and like grabbed my hand and like talked in my ear, you know, and I talked in hers.
You know what? I don't think anyone has an interaction with her when it's over. They're like, it was fine. Yeah. I feel like everybody just like, gets 10 out of 10.
And then like an angel like came from the sky. And then we both got COVID. So who gave it to who?
Who gave it to who? I would love to get to the bottom of that. Congratulations on the new film. Congratulations on another great season on SNL. So lovely to see you. This is Chloe Fineman, everybody. Summer of '69, May 9th on Hulu. We'll be right back.